Breaking news as main Arsenal target in talks with club over a new deal. Let's get straight into the news. How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Punch Drunk Arsenal, your home to all the latest Arsenal news and transfer updates. We've just received some breaking news from, I believe it's Ben Jacobs and Eduardo Burgos on X, that they've stated that Nico Williams, the Athletic Bilbao winner that the Gunners have been heavily interested in the last couple of years, has actually entered talks with Bilbao over a new contract as the Spanish Giants look to keep him at the club, despite the interest from both Arsenal and Chelsea in signing him this summer. Now, according to the report, the Spanish Giants are looking to up his wages. They're looking to secure him for around £10 million a year. And if we all know, most of us that have been keeping up with the Nico Williams story, I believe he's already on 10 million and maybe even a little bit more than £10 million a year. He's around £200,000 per week. Now, obviously, Ben Jacobs and those likes, the more reliable journalists, they obviously have a little bit more insight into this deal. But most people have reported that Nico Williams is already on quite high wages, and that a reason why the deal to Arsenal has actually been held up is because of his wage package, and that the Gunners were concerned for the amount of wages that he's actually been asking for. So this is a little bit of a strange report coming from Jacobs. Obviously, Jacobs is a very good, renowned journalist regarding transfers. However, like I mentioned, it's just a very weird one in my opinion. All signals pointed towards Nico Williams actually leaving the Spanish club this summer, with a host of big clubs interested in him. I mean, it's not just the Premier League clubs, also Real Madrid apparently were looking at signing him. And it seems like he's now at the perfect age to actually leave Bilbao and make that step up to an even better, more elite side, to actually prove his worth. I mean, he's a very highly rated talent. Obviously, still young. He's only about 21, 22 years old. So there's still a lot of room for development. But it's a player that we've all seen what he's capable of, especially on the international scene. We saw what he did with Spain, especially against England in the Euro 2024 final. So he's definitely a player that's a hot commodity on the market. A lot of clubs are interested in him, and Arsenal seem to have been the club most interested in him. So it's a little bit of a weird story coming from Jacobs and them, but let's just say their facts are accurate on this one. It will be interesting to see actually where Williams goes with this one. Obviously, we know that, his wages, as I mentioned, his wages have been a concern for the Gunners in sealing the deal, because his release clause isn't that hefty. It's only around £50 million. So that's not a problem for most clubs to sign if they're really interested in getting the player. Like I mentioned, I believe his wages have been the biggest concern. And from the insights we've been hearing on the deal, he's looking actually to get around closer to £300,000 per week, which would make him the highest paid player at the Gunners. Saka obviously also recently signed, even though it hasn't broken yet, he signed a contract for around £300,000. And when you consider the two players, Saka's obviously at a much higher level. Also, he's a homegrown talent. He's Arsenal's best player, Arsenal's most important player. So it's understandable that the Gunners actually went and with his new contract to give him £300,000 a week. If the reports are true that Nico Williams is also looking for around £300,000 per week, it's a player that I actually would kind of stay away from. I think there's better options on the market. If you're going to be paying £300,000 per week, you should be looking at a player like Rodrigo. So if the Gunners do miss out on Williams and he does decide to stay at Bilbao because of his wage package, it's not the biggest loss in my opinion for the Gunners. Obviously, Williams is a player that Mikel Arteta really wants at the club. It's a player that he was pushing for extensively during the last summer transfer window. But as I mentioned, his numbers aren't the best. I believe he scored just over 10 goals in La Liga last season, and also around 10 assists. So it's nothing to really write home about. It's not really like a player that will come in and guarantee that he would improve on what Arsenal currently have. I don't think he's much better than a Martinelli, for instance. He's a little bit better with his progressive take-ons. He's probably a little bit of a better dribbler. He's a little bit stronger than Martinelli. But they're finishing their rates of goals and assists are very similar. And with Martinelli, it's almost like at least you know what you're getting with him. Williams can come into the Premier League and really not live up to his high expectations. Or he could come in and obviously excel in those expectations, come into an environment like Arsenal and just explode. But as I mentioned, the report from Jacobs does state that Bilbao have entered initial talks with him. So it does seem like the Spanish club, they are pushing to obviously keep the player at the club, their most important player, obviously a homegrown player in Bilbao. And Bilbao's not the easiest club to deal with. We've seen in the past that players generally don't leave Bilbao easily. If I can just think of a few off the top of my head, obviously Andre Herrera, he left to go to Manchester United. Emerick Laporte left to go to where did he go? Man City. Then Loriente. Can't remember if Loriente left Bilbao to a different. I think he might have gone to Juventus before he went to Tottenham. But as I mentioned, it's an interesting report from Jacobs and them, and it's one that I wouldn't take as a necessary guarantee that he does stay at Bilbao. It seems like he's going to be on the move this summer, and obviously the Spanish Giants just want to keep a hold of their own player. So it would be interesting, like I mentioned, to see what actually happens with this deal. The Gunners aren't out of it by any stretch of this imagination, and I'm sure they'll still be looking to push ahead with a Nico Williams deal. But also, like I said, if Nico Williams doesn't come to the Gunners, I don't think, in my personal opinion, will be the biggest loss for the club. I would much rather focus our attentions on signing someone like a Rodrigo, even though it would be a difficult deal to pull off with his price tag. But he seems like one that's, obviously we all know, not seems like, we obviously know that he's definitely a player that's at the elite level. For me, he's probably would be our suck on the left. Then another name that's obviously also been linked with the Gunners is Jamie Bynoe-Gittens, the young Englishman that's playing in Dortmund at the moment, a former Man City youth product. Chelsea apparently are also very much interested in him, so it's an area, the left wing is an area for both Arsenal and Chelsea this summer that they're looking to improve. And he's very much similar to Nico Williams. I think they play a very similar style. Like I mentioned, they both like to dribble, they both like to take players on, they're quite skillful players, they're quite strong, decent finishing, decent assists. So if you consider that what the package might be for Williams, Jamie Bynoe-Gittens will probably cost around the same amount of money to get into the club, and his wages will be considerably less for Arsenal. Also, as I mentioned, he's an English player. He spent time in Man City's youth academy, so it's a player that's very much known to the Premier League and knows what it takes to make it in the Premier League, even though he hasn't had his senior career there yet. He's a player that understands the league, and he, for me, in my opinion, would be a better option than Nico Williams in the first place. However, any one of those three players would make an improvement to our left-hand side. If I had to rank them, I'd probably say Rodrigo number 1, Nico Williams number 2, Jamie Bynoe-Gittens number 3. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with this deal. Like I mentioned, I don't think the Gunners are out of it yet. But this isn't a good sign when you consider how difficult to get players out of Bilbao, and obviously Nico Williams is very much loves his club in Athletic Bilbao. He came close to leaving last summer, and he actually was the one that decided against leaving. So we'll see where this one goes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned, we're definitely going to be giving you guys all the breaking Arsenal news and transfer updates as it comes out. So keep your eyes posted on this channel. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Punch Drunk Arsenal for your latest Arsenal news and transfer updates, and leave your comments in the comment section down below. Cheers, guys.